card with just our identification information on it to keep in a wallet or wherever you want to keep it. We are open until 8 to 8 this week, and we're going to kind of see what the needs are of the campus in terms of what we need to do longer than that. We also have a telephone counseling number, and that's a really important number. It's 24/7, 365. That's the 471-2255 number. And we've been getting lots and lots of calls through telephone counseling. So that's another really, really valuable resource for yourself or for someone that you know. So, Jordan, is that kind of? Oh, are we okay with ours? Okay. Are there any questions? Anything that people specifically wanted to address around this? Okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Before the council announcements, I'm going to invite Barbara to come up and give us the President's Student Advisory Committee update.
Hey guys. Myself, Chelsea, Drew, and Emily Chen, who I don't think is here right now, along with representatives from student government and GSA, sit on something called the President's Student Advisory Committee. So what this is a small group of students that sit down with the President, President Powers, on a bi-weekly basis and talk to him about issues that we bring up, that he brings up, and the main goal is for me to represent Senate and the larger voice of students at UT here. So I quickly wanted to run down some of the issues we talked about, and also another note about UT Systems Advisory, or UT Systems Student Affairs Council, and then how PSAC's operating, and then finally just wrap it up. So quickly, some of the things we talked about. From GSA, there was a diversity symposium that was brought up. This was an idea that kind of came out of the graduate students that felt that they weren't necessarily being addressed, or all their problems weren't necessarily being addressed, and often graduate students are different from undergrads in that undergrads are a little bit more involved in campus. Graduate students have already gone through that process, and they don't have like a formal outlet to address their concerns and issues. So this was a symposium that might be able to address those kind of issues. Second thing was there was a group of students that wanted to do something for the Pakistani flood that happened a couple of months ago, and this is a relief effort that's brought up by them. And so I think Munize, right, you brought that up with President Powers, and essentially we got a little bit of progress in terms of he said he might be able to back the students up by issuing an oral statement or a written statement of sympathy from UT and what UT students might be able to do. If you are interested in that effort, you can come talk to Munize or myself or anyone after the meeting, and we can get you in touch with those people if you're interested in being a part of that process. The third thing was we talked about student input on the budget, which is something that we've all been dealing with in the process of creating different CT backs for each college. To remind you guys, that's Tuition Budget Advisory Committee for each college. And Chelsea just talked about that a little bit to President Powers and explained to him that this is something that's happening on a very modular level. We want to make sure that it's college specific. He was very supportive of that idea. I think that he appreciated it. And we also went into a little bit about the SSBC, which is Student Services Budget Committee, and we talked about how a lot of things are being talked about in terms of flat rate systems and the green fund. So we want to keep you guys up to date with all this information. I'm talking really fast, and if you have more questions about it, come talk to me afterwards. But essentially, we want to get the Provost and Kevin Harry, the CFO of UT, involved in these discussions. We want to make sure that even though this is an advisory committee, this is something that students can have a real say in, and while it will be happening on the college level, most likely it'll be smaller committees. We want you all to be an active part of the process, and not only creating it, because when we create it now, it's going to be up and running for a long time, but also in actually being a part of it throughout the year when it goes on. So do get involved in that, and once again, that's on a college-by-college basis, but obviously you're in the right room to even be thinking about it, so if you're interested, once again, you can come talk to any of us. And finally, the two more issues, actually. We talked about, Scott, I think, brought up domestic partner benefits, and this is something that the university's been working on for a little while. We lost a little bit of momentum on this issue last year, but ultimately it is a lot about deliverables and how we can actually get a call to action to change a lot of this. And so this is a good segue into the kind of big picture, one of the big things we talked about, which might be of interest to you, which is the UT Systems Student Affairs Council. This is something that Chelsea and Scott both sit on. Chelsea is actually going to be your academic chair for the year, and Scott is going to be the graduate in health. Is that it, chair? The graduate in health committee vice chair.
Yes.
So this just so you guys know, this is a committee that all UT Systems schools will have representatives from, and obviously UT Austin is a big part of that. So the way we can kind of mobilize this, coming back to the domestic partner benefits, is perhaps there will be a resolution, there will be a lot of discussions happening there. So if you are interested in domestic partner benefits, I know this is something that a lot of people in this room were involved in last year, then Scott would be your go-to guy. And you can obviously come to Chelsea, your president, with any issues that you might want to address on a kind of UT systems-wide level regarding academics. That was the final thing we talked about. We talked a little bit about academic integrity and how there are a lot of issues in certain schools specifically with academic integrity, and perhaps is there something that, with academic integrity, an issue that needs to be addressed on the university level that we can do non-modularly. Budgets are something we can talk about at the colleges, but academic integrity is something that we really want to enforce on the UT system level. And so we'll be in further talks with President Powers about how to actually do that. He was actually very appreciative that this is coming from the students. Often when issues about academic integrity come from the students, the implementation is a lot easier to do because it's easier to get faculty on board when we're coming up with tangible ideas on how to improve this. So if you have any ideas, if you have any concerns or things that weren't implemented in years past that you'd like to talk to us about, definitely do so. The final, kind of a final note is PSAC will also be dividing into subcommittees based on what the UT Systems Council looks like, and these are kind of financial, graduate, student life, and academic. So we'll divide up into these committees, and I'll let you know which one I'm on. Hopefully there will be one person from Senate in each one of these committees, because there are 4 committees, and Senate has 4 PSAC representatives, so you can feel free to contact us for specific ideas you might have. Obviously the PSAC meetings are closed. It's just 12 students and the president. With that said, we're here to represent every one of you and UT at large, so if you have ideas, we're your people that you can talk to, and you can actually request to come present something at a PSAC meeting if you'd really like to. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know sometimes I get really intense during these meetings, but I'm definitely a friendly face for you guys. If you want to just talk to me about any of this stuff, I'm more than happy, always. And we're actually thinking about getting a blog started up and just getting feedback. Ultimately, like, I took this position with the intent of making sure that communication was better and better improved. And that starts with the communication that happens in this room. So definitely feel free to come talk to Chelsea, Drew, or myself after meeting. I'll stick around, and if you have any ideas, concerns, would like more details about any of the stuff I presented, I'll be here.
All right, thanks, Barbara. Barbara was actually pretty friendly outside of the meeting, so that'll be great. Next up, we'll move on to council announcements. We have Stephen Rapp from Natural Sciences Council about the Brain Trust.
Hi everybody, my name is Stephen Rapp. I am the Senate representative for Natural Sciences Council, and I was asked to talk about an initiative that I'm giving a try in NSC called the Legislative Brain Trust. So at our General Assembly meetings, we always have our Senate reports that I present, going over legislation, other topics that we bring up here in Senate. These are always typically academic-wide, university-wide issues. However, a small gap I noticed is there seems to be a lack of intensity towards college-specific issues, namely for at least us, natural sciences. So what I was hoping to do with this is to address this problem. I am forming a committee, almost more of a focus group of students and members of the Natural Sciences Council to meet informally to discuss issues that they see plaguing the college. I want to talk about what's good, what do you guys like, what do you think we should recognize, what we should honor, other things we should discuss, including what do you guys hate? Is there something that really ticks you off about our college? Is there something that's annoying, that's just not streamlined, or do you want to improve? And really, I'm trying to sell this as just a very general, very, very informal, very relaxed discussion about just issues in college. and hopefully this will be one more step closer to us identifying these issues and passing the first legislation that the Sciences Council has passed ever towards our college deans. So the idea is not only do you get student input, which is the entire role, I think, of Senate reps is to represent your students, but also you start training and exposing Senate to a select group of students at a much less scary level. It's General Assembly, a lot of people, dressed very nicely. It seems a little bit intimidating, when of course in front of council meetings, depending on the size of your council, we have 75 plus members. Asking a question there, it's a little bit more intimidating than all gathered around in a room, just 5, 10, 15 people. So I really encourage you guys to try to explore options like this at the Senate reps and college councils. I think it'd be a great opportunity to get feedback from your students. It's also a great idea to identify leaders, potential leaders in the council, and also to identify future Senate reps, because there tends to be sometimes a little bit of gap between going from a member to the position. This will help fill that disconnect. So I encourage you to give it a shot. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I'll be here afterwards. And if you have any suggestions, of course, we're trying this for the first time too, so I'm no expert, but this is just an initiative I think that we can all benefit from. Thank you.
Now that we've made them wait long enough, we're moving on to regular guests. Is Manny from GSA here? Okay. Seeing him, I'm going to invite student government, all three of you, Denise, Jimmy, and Scott. Welcome.
I feel like we're about to do a setup for co-pairs. How many here have moved since last semester? Moved from one place to another? Raise your hand. If you moved from an apartment to a dorm, if you moved from one apartment to another, just moved it all. Okay, how many of you that have your hands raised have registered to vote since you moved? Very good, Wesley. What we're doing in SG this Monday is something called Hook the Vote, which is all about voter registration here on campus. And a lot of students don't know that when you move, whether if you're moving from your hometown to UT, or even if you move, to an apartment in UT down the street, you have to re-register to vote. And so a lot of students are disenfranchised when it comes to election time. So that's something that SG is going to try to solve this Monday. We're going to have voter registration booths set up across campus that are going to be hosted by different organizations. And so we're going to have about 15 of them at different bus stops, at corners, and in front of dorms, all throughout campus from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you're not registered or you're kind of confused, then you can come to the booth and get registered, tell your friends to make sure that they get registered. And then at night, we're hosting the Hook the Vote Midnight Madness Concert, which is going to be on Gregory Plaza from 7 p.m. to midnight. And there's going to be live music. Local awesome bands are going to be performing for free. Cornucopia, which is a place on the drag that sells flavored popcorn. It's not as gross as it sounds. And it's going to be, they're going to have a popcorn bar there, and we're going to have free t-shirts. So please come out and enjoy music, try to get your friends registered, tell 5 of your friends, and that'll make a big difference at the legislature if students here at UT are involved in their democratic process. So if there's anybody in here who wants a voter registration card, I can give one to you, or if you want a couple to give to your friends, anybody in here who wants one, I'll pass it out while they're talking.
Oh, he had a question.
Oh, he wants a card.
Oh, okay.
Everybody wants a card. Anybody else?
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Scott Parks, if you don't know me, and I'm currently serving as president this year. And I just wanted to update you all on an initiative that you may have seen today. It started at 5 p.m. last night, so it's all happened pretty quickly, but Chelsea and Senate and several people in here were really awesome in helping us put together kind of a unified effort, a student response to what happened on Tuesday. Really giving students a way to show their sincere gratitude for what I think was a really great job by UTPD and APD and all the different people that are kind of on the critical response team. So if you didn't see us today, we tabled. We had a great pack of 8 or 10 people there for most of the day, getting students to sign thank you cards and like big poster boards that we've now framed that we're going to give to UTPD to put in their office. And we also had lots of students signing up people for the text alert service. That was really effective on Tuesday, kind of increasing awareness about that. So On Monday, it's going to continue, and I know you'll be seeing a lot of Hook the Vote stuff all over campus, tons of tables. But we're also going to have a table again on the west